I'm leaving you for a real man. The words hung in the air like shattered glass, cutting before they even landed. My wife, my partner of 10 years, stood in front of me with her hand clasped tightly around her coworker's. His smug half-smile twisted something deep inside me. My throat dried. My heart raced but refused to break. It felt more like it had been stolen, ripped from my chest before I even realized it was gone. For a second, I thought it was a sick joke. She had teased me before, said things she thought were funny but cut deeper than she realized. Maybe this was another one of those moments. I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing came out. She filled the silence. I can't keep living like this. You've changed. We've grown apart. She squeezed his hand, her eyes flashing in a way they hadn't for me in years. He makes me feel alive again. Alive. The word pulsed through my mind. Hadn't I spent years trying to do exactly that? Vacations I'd saved for, the house I worked myself into exhaustion to afford, the small notes I'd leave on her mirror when I left for work before dawn. Every effort, every piece of me, suddenly rewritten as insufficient. I looked at her, really looked, and realized the red flags had been there all along. The late nights at the office that never added up. The sudden interest in her phone, always turned face down. The way she grew irritated when I asked simple questions like, "When will you be home?" Or "How was your day?" I had told myself it was stress, that she just needed space. I hadn't wanted to believe the truth, that the space was already filled by someone else. My voice finally broke free, raw and trembling. A real man. That's what you think I'm not. Her eyes darted away, shame flickering before she buried it under defiance. You're comfortable, predictable, safe. But he takes risks. He sees me. He makes me feel wanted. I wanted to scream. To tell her about every sleepless night I'd spent worrying about bills, about her, about us. To remind her that safety wasn't weakness, that predictability was the foundation of love, not its enemy. But the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I turned to the man whose hand gripped hers so confidently. "And you?" I asked, my voice colder now. "What do you see when you look at her? Someone else's wife? Or just another challenge you can brag about conquering?" His smirk faltered. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. The betrayal seeped into me like poison, slow but thorough. I remembered the way she used to curl against me on the couch, the way her laughter used to fill our kitchen, the way she once told me she couldn't imagine a life without me. That woman was gone. In her place stood someone I didn't recognize, someone who could humiliate me in my own living room with words rehearsed like lines in a play. The silence stretched too long. Finally, I said, "If you've already chosen him, then go. But don't stand here and tell me I wasn't enough. Because I gave you everything I had." Her lip trembled. For a moment, the mask cracked, and I saw a flash of the woman I loved, the woman who had once whispered promises into my ear late at night. But she blinked, turned, and the mask hardened again. "I deserve happiness," she said flatly. "So did I whispered. She left that night, suitcase already packed. Had it been waiting for weeks? I sat in the quiet, the sound of the door slamming echoing like a gunshot. Every corner of the house felt emptier, colder. Her perfume still lingered in the hallway, mocking me with memories that no longer belonged. The days blurred. Friends called, some offering sympathy, others whispering the gossip they'd heard but hadn't dared to tell me before. Pieces of her betrayal trickled in, a dinner here, a weekend work trip there. Each revelation sliced me open again, and yet I felt oddly numb, as if I were watching someone else's life unravel. One morning, I woke to find a letter on the doorstep. Her handwriting. My stomach twisted as I unfolded it. She wrote of regret, not of leaving, but of how she left. She said she had loved me once but had grown tired of being seen as someone's wife instead of herself. She claimed she hadn't meant to fall for him, but once she did, she couldn't stop. The words blurred through my tears, but one line burned into me: "You'll always be a good man, just not the man I wanted anymore." I sat there for hours, the letter crumpled in my fists, realizing the cruel irony. She wanted a real man, and yet the one standing before her when life grew heavy had always been me. Not him. Not the coworker who smiled in stolen moments. Me. The man who bore the weight quietly, who gave without asking, who loved without condition until there was nothing left to give. In the end, she didn't just leave me. She left herself, left the version of her that had once believed in us, in forever, in love that was deeper than thrill. And though the pain clung to me like a shadow, I found a strange, haunting clarity. Sometimes being a real man means walking away when the person you love chooses to throw you away. She thought she was leaving me behind for something greater. What she didn't realize was that she wasn't just losing a husband that night. She was losing the one man who had truly, selflessly loved her. And that loss, I knew, would follow her long after the thrill faded.